Are you currently teaching the law of attraction to others? And you're kind of wondering, how can I get paid to do this? Or maybe you're a personal development trainer, and you really want to incorporate the law of attraction into your programs and seminars, and wondering, how can you do that? Well, if that's you, then you're in the right place. Because this week on the Hangout with Penny show, my special, the words are just so profound on how I feel about my guest co-host tonight, because he is the expert when it comes to training people on how to become certified law of attraction trainers. And on this episode, we're going to give you 3 tips, tools, or techniques that you can start implementing right now. So whether you're wanting to train others and teach others, or you're wanting to just implement these in your everyday personal life, they'll do the same thing as well. But it really is it's really a blessing. It's such a wonderful thing when you can go out and teach people about the law of attraction and really have money in exchange for that. So we have the guy that's going to help you do that tonight. So before we get on with the show, to bring Michael on, I'd like to welcome you. You're watching the Hangout with Penny show, episode 41. Next week is going to be special. It's my 1-year anniversary, so I'm excited about that. 1 year hanging out with me. So thank you very much, everybody. And so for those of you that maybe this is the first time you're watching, or maybe you've been watching me for the last 40, one of my favorite things to do is toast with a glass of wine. I actually had a special bottle of wine for a guest I was going to have tonight, and we needed to reschedule him, so I'm saving that wine, and this is some wine I just had, so I just want to cheers, because we're going to just get on with the show. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
So this is the Hangout with Penny show. My show is just to uplift you and empower you, encourage you, and inspire you to really be aware of what you're thinking and what you're saying, because it really has a profound result in your life. So when we can start switching and turning things around on the positive side, we're going to start attracting far greater things into our life. So what I want to do next is what people are saying. I love this part. I love this part. Michael, I get to do this on your show, and it's just, this uplifts me. This inspires me. And this encourages me, so I want to thank all you. So this goes back to episode 40, and this was the law of attraction can transform your life for any situation that you're dealing with. And with certified law of attraction trainer, also coach and trainer, also trained by Michael, Jody Santangelo. So let me just start with Lowell Ann saying, and she says, Penny Peddie, you do a lovely hangout. Tonight it's gin and tonic rather than wine. Very warm here, Victoria. Jody Santangelo, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Thanks for the reminder. I will never mention or think about this damn knee again. Lolan, that's cute. That's good for you. Romy Carlin, she says, hi Jody, welcome. Penny, hopefully you had a great time with Judy Gary. Oh, we did. Judy Gary was here for a visit, so yeah, we did. Thanks for asking. So she says, I divorced and did not want to live, but something changed my life. I finished my degree and started to read books, and I came across Michael Losier. Thank you. And June Kellogg, she said, cheers to both you. I have a glass, and I'm toasting to you. Cheers, June. And A to Z points. So Linda says, great to meet Jody and her positive story of recovery. Keep on feeling good. So that was episode 40. So that was quite a powerful show. So, and I'll finish up with Cindy Poole. She said, saint or sinner. Love it. So that was the name of my wine for last week, Saint or Sinner. Great show. Thanks, Jody, for sharing an inspiring story. So it was. Jody shared some very personal things about her life and how the law of attraction turned her around, and her aha moment when she read this book. This book, almost 2 million copies in circulation, bestseller. And then we have this book. both by Michael Losier. Michael Losier. Michael Losier, he started doing seminars teaching people about the law of attraction. He developed this book. Then he developed this one. And he's like, so many people were saying, I want to do what you do. So he's been training people and teaching people all over the world. And now he's got a wonderful new format that we're going to share with you. But in the meantime, Michael, come out and say hi to everybody.
Hello, Penny. Hello, everybody watching Hangout with Penny. And like always, you can expect to have fun with Penny and I tonight, as we are the hostess with the mostest. We like to have fun. We both have the same goal, that's to inspire and uplift and teach people some great stuff today. So if you're ready, get pen and paper. You're going to take some notes today. We're going to pluck a little bit of information from my training program so you can start using it right now. So thanks for having me with you today, Penny. It's fun.
Oh, thank you, Michael. I'm so excited that you're here. Just a reminder, this is a weekly show every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Lots of you are making a habit. Every show is recorded, so you can watch the recording at your own convenience. And it's good. People are making a marathon. Michael started that one because Michael is the host of the Hangout with Michael show. And so many people. Michael, on your show today, what was it? Somebody's been having a marathon and watching through the whole thing already, 97 shows, the second time around.
Well, somebody posted today after the show, episode 97, that was today, was their first episode, and they've committed to watching all of them over the weekend. So
wow.
That's a lot. That's like, that's 25 hours of me. Ooh, I'm scared of them.
So what do I want? More Michael! I was one of those people, Michael, that would watch you and say, I want to do what he's doing. I want to do what he's doing. And then, of course, I had your book, and it just, you simplified everything. And then you simplified a training program that really helps us, whether we've been in the teaching and training arena or just our very first starting out. You have such a effective way of teaching, and that has a lot to do with your NLP and accelerated learning techniques. So, Michael, I just have to start with one of your cards because I just love these so much. And this one, hey, this can change people beginning right now. Michael, want to read your own card?
I'm in the process of reducing and eliminating the words don't, not, and no. When I have to use them, I'll remember to ask myself, what do I want?
Yes.
Now this is, you know, Penny and I chose a couple cards today that were very relevant for the trainers, and it's a quote, and it looks pretty easy, and it is the basis of the first part of our training. It is very important. You know, one of the things, Penny, that we take pride in teaching people is, first, why are they attracting negative things? There's not a lot of sources or resources that tell you that. They just move into, oh, you can attract this and you can attract that. Well, you and I both know you can't attract positive things if you've got a lot of negative things going on.
That's right.
So the very first part of the work that we teach is, you know what, let's stop attracting negative things first, then you can start attracting positive things. And we start with that, the notion or the truth that the words don't, not, and no, when we use them, cause us to give attention to what we don't want. And as trainers, we're dedicated to make sure people leave our seminar with so much understanding that they practice it in the car. So hold the card up again there, Penny. So when people leave our introductory presentation, the words don't, not, and no are burned in their image. And every time they use the word don't, not, and no, we are teaching them to reset the words. And you ask yourself, so what do I want? You know, law of attraction is always matching their vibes right now. And if we don't like something, it's because we're sending the vibe. And it's mostly because of the words don't, not, and no. So we do a lot in the training to really emphasize these are the three words. Here's what you need to say to reset the three words. And finish the sentence for me, Penny. When the words change, what else changes?
The vibration changes.
That's right. And when the vibe changes, what else changes?
The results will change.
That's right. So anybody wanting to teach anybody about how to get a different result, this is the starting place, right, Penny? If someone comes to you and say, oh, law of attraction is not working for me, and your job is to listen for their use of the word don't, not, and no, and give them that for homework. That is their assignment. Every time you use the word don't, not, and no, in that very moment you say, I've got to reset my words. And I ask myself, so what do I want? And the best news of all is when I talk about what I don't want, and then I start talking about what I do want, well, the words change. And when the words change, the vibration changes. And after the change of vibration, law of attraction starts to match the new vibration. So this is a critical element in teaching law of attraction to others. It's the first step, and that is how to stop attracting negative things.
Oh yes, and you've developed such an easy way for us to learn it and then teach it, because people really get it. People will get it. So we start by teaching them the don't, nots, and nos, and then you taught us about doing this universal symbol of the no more. So right, and then it's like, okay, so what? If you don't want, what do you want? So then we have your reset button. So I give people these out when I give them the reset button when I do my trainings. And it's like they're always using them. And then we ask ourselves, so what do I want? And Michael, this becomes the hero. It becomes the hero because now they're hearing your words or my words, or it's like, oh, what do I want? What do I want? So this is very, very important. And it's easy when you come to teaching people because it's so simple, but it's so, it's one of the best law of attraction training that I've ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just anybody that's coaching or teaching law of attraction, I'm really going to encourage you to start right there. Just start with the words. Some people want to help people attract customers and clients and pearls and jewels and cars and money. That's going to be a tough challenge if you don't have your vibe cleaned up. So trainers and teachers, coaches and friends, and if you're helping anybody, that is the very first thing to do, is teach them that first thing that we do in our certification. And we also do it during our free presentations. It's important, and it's easy. It's 3 words, and here's what you say when you say them.
Yes, and the beauty I love about your teaching, Michael, is that you also teach us that if we have to do a 15-minute presentation or if we have to do a 45 to an hour presentation, we can be just as effective by the way that you have that teach us on how to do this. So I just dropped my next card. Excuse me. Not bad. So I promised everybody we'd give them 3 tips. So I could talk about what you just shared with the don't, not, knows for a while. But you want to move on to tip number 2, Michael?
Yeah, I think we made our point. That's the starting place. Here's what you do, and then they're going to want more and more and more. Just give them that to practice. It'll take practice to start reducing and eliminating the words don't, not, and no. And then,
Michael,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I may refer, Hangout with Michael, episode 96, on that episode, you were sharing the importance of using handouts. So when you want to teach people about the law of attraction in your training, during your seminars and so forth, on the importance of using the handouts.
That's right. Yeah. For student retention, it's the tool. Good.
Yeah.
So the second card we're going to talk about, Penny, is sometimes people get confused because we tell people about being positive all the time. And then they get worried when they attract negative things. It's oh, I've got something negative going on. But we kind of embrace the idea of that being negative is okay under one condition. And everybody needs to hear this before you show the card, Penny, because everyone's saying, oh, you have to be positive thinking. You have to use positive words. Well, guess what? A lot of us have stories going on or events going on where we attract something negative. And now we're thinking, oh, I have to be careful. I'm not supposed to be negative. But we're going to add a little bit of relief to that, Penny. So go ahead and show us the next card.
I'm going to read it, and then I'll show it. It says, it's okay to acknowledge that which you don't like, as long as you do it. Hey.
As long as you do it briefly?
Yeah, briefly. I don't know what happened. I must have touched something. Briefly, there it is.
Yeah. So yeah, you can be ticked off, and you can be worried, and you can complain. Just do it briefly. Because things are going to come up for us. We are going to think of something, or someone's going to tick us off. But part of that process is thinking, well, I can do this, but briefly. As long as the balance of your vibration is positive thinking. Now, when you observe something you don't like briefly, then you go back to lesson number 1. It's like, wow, I'm in this relationship, and I really hate it. It's just driving me crazy, and I've got a negative vibe going on. I want to observe it briefly. Well, the way to brief it up is to ask the oh-so-famous question. Go ahead.
So what do I want?
That's right. So again, in the program, we teach people how to get clear about something. It's like, well, what would be your ideal employment or your ideal boyfriend, your ideal girlfriend, your ideal customer? Well, the best way to know what you do like is to know what you don't like. So sometimes you have to peek in thinking, well, I wouldn't want one that's like this. Here's what I'd like instead. So again, it's okay to observe what you don't like. Maybe right now you have customer and client bases, and some of them you don't like, and I've told you to be really positive, so you don't want to give them attention. It's okay. You can say, here's the 10 things I don't like about some of the clients I have now, and here's what I would like. You observed it briefly. So you see how the first two tools. First, learn how to clean up the languaging. That was our first tip. The second one is, when you're noticing something you don't like, embrace it, and say, ooh, this sure is ugly. What would I like instead? But you'll notice, Penny, that we're pretty careful not to tell people how long briefly is.
That's right.
If you used to be ticked off about something for 4 days and now you're down to 1 day, look at me. That's briefer. And if you used to get ticked off for 4 hours and now you're down to 1 hour, that's briefer. So you decide what briefly is. And sometimes brief means a nanosecond. I might taste something or smell something. Oh, I don't like that. Well, I don't keep eating it. I don't keep smelling it. So in those cases, I instantly change my vibration. And then some other areas, it might not be as brief, but it's briefer than it was before. That's the only measurement you need to have. Am I observing something briefer than I used to? Which means, am I complaining less? Am I worrying less? Am I telling this negative story over and over again less? Am I shifting to positive, better thoughts more quickly? They're all kind of little measurements to say, yeah, I am observing briefly. So that was a very important point number 2 that we teach in training.
It is, and if I may just add, Michael, it's very important that we, us as certified facilitators, that we're teaching this, but it's also important that as a facilitator, there it goes again, as a facilitator, do we always have like the positive vibes all the time? No, right? Sometimes we'll get into something that's like, oh, what I don't want, but we're trained enough to like, okay, wait a minute, what do I want? So, hey, I'm in a much briefer time now than I was like 5 years ago when something wasn't going right. So, yeah, it's just all about how long's briefly. Well, 5 years ago it would have been 5 weeks. Now it's like maybe 5 hours.
Yeah. It was funny, on this morning's phone we were talking about some contrast that I experienced around my friends coming to my house and being on their phones and checking emails and updates and websites and, just while they're talking to me. And I observed it, and I would get really ticked off, and they would leave, and I'd say to myself, that's the last time I'm inviting that person here, and I don't like when they do that. And then I thought, okay, Michael, you've been complaining about that all week. And of course, and then I had 3 people, and they're all on their phones in my place. And I thought, this is just the manifestation of my complaining all week. So I asked myself the question, so what do I want? And I said to myself, I want my friends to leave their phone at home. So I posted something on my website yesterday that was a notice to all my friends. If you're coming to visit me, leave your phone at home. And then I had a friend say, so you're saying don't use your phone? I said, leave your phone at home. In other words, I was trying to say what I was trying to avoid the word don't, not, and no. Like, don't bring your phone. Just leave your phone. Now, the traffic at my house might just shut right down after that little statement. But I had a friend came to my house last night, and he didn't see my notice on Facebook, but I put a little sign outside my door, and it was a picture of a cell phone with a line through it. And he didn't use his phone. I watched him all night. It's like, okay. So, and I was worried about how am I going to tell my friends. So I put that vibration out, which kind of brings us to another topic we're going to talk about in the future. It's like, well, it took boundaries. I had to put some boundaries in place. But I observed it a little bit longer than briefly. I observed it a week. And then on Wednesday night, everybody in my house was on their phone. Well, I had enough of that. And then I woke up Thursday with my, so what do I want? I said, what I do want is I want my friends to visit me. Then I had a friend said, well, what if it's a business call? Then I said, then stay home and mind your business. Run your business from home. Don't come to my house to do it.
Yes, that's important, and there would be it would change dinners if the restaurants would start that and put a no cell phone during dinner. It's only being respectful. I've been out for dinner and a couple sitting across from each other, and They're both like this. It's like, all right. Anyway, yeah, I get that.
I'm sure that exists in some big city hotels or big city restaurants.
Okay, well, let's go on to tip number 3, another very important tool that you teach your certified facilitators to be able to go out and teach this.
That's
and
right.
So
well,
it's okay.
Before we look at it, let me give it some context.
Okay,
right?
perfect.
So far we're telling everybody to eliminate the words don't, not, and no. Okay, that's going to be homework. And now if I get angry and ticked off, I'm allowed to observe it briefly to help birth what I do want. So all of this is for one reason. It's all so we can send a positive vibe. That's the whole purpose we're doing it. We're getting rid of the don't, nots, and no's, which makes it negative. We're getting rid of the longer observations of what we don't like. So we're having to train ourselves to feel good. Now that's a strange concept for a lot of people, that it's okay to feel good. So in our training, we teach people a different reframe on a kind of an ugly word. So Penny, what is it?
Well, the word is selfish.
Yes. Well, what do we have to say about that? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay to be selfish. Selfish means self-care. Michael, when you taught us this, it was like a big aha for me. So selfish is care about your vibe enough to include only the things in your life that make you feel good.
That's right. So it's okay to be selfish. I'm selfish. I care about everything. You know, I'm so selfish that I'm prepared not to have people in my house that's on the phone. That's how selfish I am. I'm so selfish, in other words, about how I care about my vibration that I won't have negative conversations, and I won't watch shows that get me all charged up. If you want to do that, that's okay, because it's out of my business. It's not my vibration. So when we're talking here about minding our vibration, I just want to show everybody our little friend here, Penny. Where do you go? Our
little bubble guy?
Our little bubble guy. So, you know, here's a picture of a vibrational bubble, and that bubble around it is my way of saying that, you know, that's the vibe around us. My only job is to maintain, because the default of my bubble is positive. That's the default of my bubble is positive.
Yeah.
However, I could be including stuff that don't make me feel good. Sitting around my house and everybody on the cell phone, boy, that got included. Or noticing that I don't like this and I don't like this, that got included. So I need to say to myself, I'm protecting my vibration enough that I'm only going to include stuff that feels good. That's how selfish I am. Selfish equals self-care. And it's our only job is to care about what we put inside our vibrational bubble.
That is so true. That is so true. And I just want to say that self-care is so important. And it's okay to be selfish when it comes to self-care. And I love the way you taught us how to teach that to other people. And I love how you teach us about the bubble and what we're putting in. And you've taught us so many things. So as facilitators, it's easy for us to go out and earn income by teaching people what you have so brilliantly mastered. So Michael, I just like to say, when I used to follow you years ago, and I would say, I want to do what he does. I want to do what he does. I want to do what he does. And I would go and check what, because you had your facilitator program going at the time, and you actually had people come to your home. You had people come to your home. You hired a chef, and you went all out to give these people like the best of the best. And then you started to reach out a little bit further and gather these people because so many people wanted it. So you then went out and went to venues, and you held venues to have people come, and you would train them. So
Singapore, Malaysia, Canada, in the States I went to New York and Phoenix and Los Angeles. I traveled a lot. In India, people had to travel to meet me there, and it was very expensive. And they would leave after the 3-day workshop, like totally stimulated. But unfortunately, it was a lot of work in 3 days, and then it took a lot of time to kind of assimilate it. But that was the way we did training back then. And of course, for those of you that are watching right now, you can understand and appreciate how easy it is to sit at the comfort of your home and take notes and get to ask questions and you know, have a cup of tea while you're in a learning environment.
Mm-hmm.
So
Michael,
go ahead.
When I hosted your show, when you were actually in Miami at a conference, I plugged your training, and I kept the little card. So I just like to show everybody that what you offer now for online training. So you make it so easy for people to stay in their pajamas. I had to travel to Vancouver. I had to get dressed every day.
Well, good. Let me make note of the points when you hold up the card. So there, the in-person training was 20 hours, and I converted it to 20 hours of Google Hangouts. So I've done about 4 classes already, 20 hours on Google Hangouts. That's already recorded. It comes with a 60 or 70 page workbook, and that is work at your own pace. I have people in it right now that kind of took the summer off. One's working ahead, one's working faster, one's going to wait till September, so you do it. So there's 20 hours. After that, or while you're doing that, every Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the morning, I do what's called an open office hangout. That means I get in a hangout like this. People taking the training, they can join me for 15 hours. They can choose 15 Wednesdays to come in and get their questions asked. The people that are joining me now at 9 o'clock, they're getting my one-on-one mentorship, and I'm teaching them what direction to take and what they need to do next. And they're coming and thinking, okay, I listened to the last 4 hours. I love this part. So they're getting that in between support. And of course, everybody gets to meet with me one-on-one. Even though I'm building a lot of knowledge base working with you during the 15 hours with the group, we meet one-on-one before the training and after the training to make sure that you're set up and I have set you up for success. And I promise at the end of this program, you'll be in a position to deliver introductory free presentations that razzle-dazzle everybody, so much so that they're going to want to learn more about how to apply law of attraction. And whether it's on coaching or whether it's in seminars, whether it's in Google Hangouts and whether it's in teleclasses, whether it's in Hangout groups or whether it's in what you're doing, Penny, with the meetup groups, you learn a format and then it becomes your signature presentation, and then you do it over and over and over again and get really good at it. Before you know it, you don't even need notes because you've practiced your signature presentation. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it work over and over and over again. There's a model to follow, and there's a system, and people, trainers like that. They like to have worksheets. They like to have the process. What do I say next? What do I do next? So I've created all of that, and I've certified 445 people in 14 countries. My book, Law of Attraction, is published in 34 languages. So there's people teaching it in Mandarin, and Chinese, and Italian, in Danish, and English, and in Indian, in Malay. There's trainers all over the world.
So I'm just going to go to the comment area here, Michael. Okay. And Marlena Burton, she said, "Thank you, Penny. It's such a fun time. I'm in the process of becoming a circle leader for a process that is like LOA on steroids. Loving it. Hope to be able to join you." And so here we go with Rami Carlin. She says, "Hi, Michael and Penny. Ready for a great show. I got great mail. Woohoo! I found a special place for it. Thanks, Michael." So Amanda Hiram's watching. Karen Riggio, she says, "Can't watch tonight. Plan to watch the replay Saturday afternoon. Thanks as always." Tana Marshall, our great dear friend Tana, I'm going to mention her in just a moment. "Great topic. Can't watch live tonight, but I'm excited to watch the recording. As always, I'll be with you in spirit, Penny." So that is the beauty of having the Google Hangouts, because they're all recorded. Then they go over to YouTube, and then people can watch them at convenience. So, Michael.
We did it. Anybody watching today that's piqued their interest in training, we've given them 3 tools. I also want to bring attention to the graphic there, Penny, if you want to white box that. Yep. I have taken 8 of my Google Hangout episodes that are just for trainers and for facilitators, and all the conversation is for you, directed to you. They're free. They're downloadable both on iTunes and on Stitcher, and you can go to below the comments of this Google event and see where the link, or you can visit my Hangout with Michael page, and you'll see 8 of these at the bottom. And feel free to download them, share them for tools to help you teach Law of Attraction effectively using accelerated learning techniques. That's why all the hands are in the air, because that's what we do. We get them to say yes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you, Michael. So before I bring you out for our final words, I just want to refer to your card again. It's okay to be selfish. Selfish means self-care. And when it comes to caregiving and being a caregiver, it's so important to actually be selfish for yourself, to take care of yourself first. And my dear friend Tana Marshall, just mentioned her, she and I started a G+ community for caregivers. It's called the Enlightened Caregivers Community Support Group. And we've got a few members in there already, and it's just a safe place to come to be with other people that kind of know what you're going through, because Tana's caring for her mom right now as a full-time caregiver. My mom's just been put in long-term care, and so I'm going back and forth between that. I know Michael, he's just experienced this with his mom, and he's gone back to the East Coast to just see his mom, because things happened in their family that these things can just come up unexpected.
Yeah. I'm going to post a picture of my mom and I inside that community.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, one of the big differences since my mom had a stroke and she's doing well now is my level of compassion is so different. You know, I never told my mom that I loved her, and if I did, it was awkward, and it's probably rare. I never told it to my dad, and now for my mom, when I go see her, I keep saying, I love you, and she said, me too. So even in her new brain, she still doesn't say that she loves me, but she doesn't need to, because, you know, there's different ways to express that. But that's one thing that I noticed was my level of compassion, and my level of compassion for the other people in the senior home, too. So I was quite surprised that I could get in there and, you know, help people out, and so it's all good.
It's so fulfilling. It's very fulfilling when we can help others, but it's really important that we need to keep an eye on what's going on internally with ourselves, and it's important to have a place to go to. And many people are just going through this alone. Well, we have that support group. So
very nice.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you're watching the Hangout with Penny Show, episode 41. Next week, episode 42, is my 1-year anniversary. You're going to see Michael again because he's going to be on as, and I have a few other special guests, and it's going to be a fun celebration, so I'm really happy about that. You can catch me every Friday. Thank you for making me a habit, 8 p.m. Eastern, Hang Out with Penny. Right there, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can go and enter your email address on my web homepage. I'll send you a link every week, and I'll send you the recording. So when you're like Tana and like a few others that are busy tonight, you can catch me tomorrow morning. And we love that, and we love your comments. I'll keep them coming. Michael, come back out, and any words of wisdom? Oh, I have one. Maybe
okay.
You're going to say it.
No, you go ahead.
Trainers make more money than speakers.
Yes, very good. Yeah, we learned that early in my program. Is that, you know, there's a couple important parts. First, we're not motivational speakers. I'm using the word not on purpose. We're trainers. And just the word trainer, there's a presupposition in the word trainers. It means it's presupposing. It's presupposing that they're going to get trained. So we say that. We're also installing the idea they'll get trained. And trainers make more money than a speaker does, unless you're a big speaker. But for the most part, trainers make more money. Thanks, Penny.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you very much, Michael. I'm so happy to. Could you just remind people one more time on how they want to know more information about the program that you're running?
Yeah. Well, they can go to hangoutwithmichael.com, and there's tabs along the top. You can take the Facilitator tab, or you can go to hangoutwithmichael.com/certification. I've got a little video that explains the 20-hour program and coaching you one-on-one and how all of that works. And for sure, check out the videos at the bottom of the page at hangoutwithmichael.com, where all the videos or the special shows I did for facilitators are there. It's a great way to get you started. In the meantime, before you take the training, you'll have all these skills under your belt.
Mm-hmm. And my final words is, Michael, I just want to thank you, because the support, there's many programs out there that I've taken, and I know several other people have taken, and once it's done, it's done. There's no more contact with the person that trained us or anything. But with you, Michael, it is constant support, and that makes it so, what's the word I'm looking for? there's a sense of ease.
Well, community, right? Community, people feeling like they're being supported through the processes, and well, you can see people that have taken the training, when they stay connected with me, their business soars through the roof. So
Absolutely.
yeah, you have to stay connected and you have to do the work. So stay connected with Penny and I. Me at 9 a.m. Fridays at Hangout with Michael. Penny at 5 p.m. Fridays at Hangout with Penny. You fill your boots with the two of us, and you'll get the skills and tools that you need to live a great life that's fueled by law of attraction deliberately.
Yes, it's all about being deliberate. So thank you very much, Michael. I really appreciate you being here, and I know what you're teaching people, that they can teach others how to do what you're doing. It's life-changing, and it really does change people's lives, so thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for watching the Hangout with Penny show. We're going to see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, for my 1-year anniversary.
Yay.
So we'll see you then.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.